Hey, this is Liz from People I Think Are Cool, a bi-weekly podcast where I interview my favorite creatives from across the globe. If you're looking for a dose of creative inspiration, then go to peopleithinkarecool.com or subscribe to People I Think Are Cool on iTunes and Stitcher.
You like film, from cult to classic, from blockbuster to B-movies. And there just isn't that one place with all the fan fervor and passion that's covering the kind of mad, diverse brilliance that you love.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
AfterMovieDiner.com is that fan-built movie nirvana just for you, featuring the sweet, sweet writings of the wife dork herself. AfterMovieDiner.com. Go there. Be the best you can be.
Listening to the In the Mouth of Dorkness podcast, the official podcast of the Alamo Drafthouse, Winchester.
Welcome to another edition of the It Modcast podcast, Fistful Friday.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good, some good horns around the table today.
I did not have good horns.
No, they weren't good horns?
Now there's a cat in here.
Okay, well, so joining me today on this Friday is Billy Dash, the indie dork. What's up, Billy?
Not much. I'm excited to be back.
And Lisa Gullickson, the wife dork. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And I'm your host today, Brad Gullickson, the mouth dork. We are missing Brian Young, the turtle dork, and Darren Smith, the disco dork. One has family, one had a job. We're not going to tell you who. You just
they
have
have
to guess.
99 problems, and doing this podcast isn't one this afternoon.
Oh, man.
Sad. I wish it was one of their problems.
Their problem is that they're missing it.
We are celebrating the release, the reboot
Of Brad's new favorite film.
Hellboy.
He loves the Lobster Johnson interpretation.
I don't. But we're all just going to have to wait till the review cast for my true thoughts about the new Hellboy. Billy, are you excited about a new Hellboy?
I am.
Why?
Because
it's R-rated, Billy.
I know. It's R-rated. No, that doesn't matter to me. I think that whole thing is silly. But I'm excited to watch the movie. It looks like a power chord kind of movie. Very straightforward, very fun. And I think it may not be something that ultimately is for fans of Hellboy. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. But I don't know, man. I think it's accessible. And I think a lot of people are going to flock to it. At least I hope.
It is certainly spinning out of the mode of the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy. So I feel like if you like that and wish there was more violence and profanity in you might enjoy this new Hellboy.
Well, I like violence and profanity, so I'm for goddamn sure excited about it.
I know. You live a red band lifestyle. That's what you always tell me.
Fucking A right.
Lisa Gullickson,
yes.
You're super green band. Are you excited about the new Hellboy?
No, because I'm probably going to be sitting next to you, and you'll be sucking all the joy out of it.
That is correct. Should I see it without you the first time then?
No.
Okay. Then you're just going to have to enjoy my life suck.
The challenges of watching a movie with Brad Gullickson where he does not enjoy it.
Yeah.
He is what you call a wet noodle when it comes to certain things. But I still enjoyed the fuck out of some Shazam, and Brad was only he was not like he was a damp noodle. He was like a moist.
It was fine. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a fun time at the movies. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Shazam. If you want to know about Shazam, listen to our review cast. We're doing a Fistful Friday, and we're focusing on a fistful of Hellboys.
Or
and
girls.
As
or
usual,
ladies.
We are interpreting that however we want to. So Lisa's going to throw some girls into the action.
Okay.
Gross.
Oh.
So we're leaning into the liberal interpretation this time.
You know, that's what we do.
I'm just going to expand my list here.
Yeah. But guess what, Billy? You're first on deck.
Oh,
So
yeah?
You're number 5. You got to come at us right now.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. You're 5.
Tom Hanks in Oblivion. No, Tom Cruise in Oblivion. I fucked it up! You messed it up! You're making eye contact with me. No, Tom Cruise in Oblivion as Jack Harper. And I'm going to pitch it. Hellboy. So, what is my interpretation of Hellboy?
Very curious.
Yeah. All right. So for me, Hellboy is a character who is effectively born out of somebody else's desire and burdened with their vision of what their life should be and their purpose. And they rise up against that. So in my mind, Jack Harper as Tom Cruise in Oblivion, is exactly that model of people. Because they even say in the movie, right? They've created an army of Jack Harpers to come back, and they have repurposed him to be the destructor of the world.
I hope everyone's seen Oblivion, because you've just ruined it.
I think if you haven't seen Oblivion at this point, like
You're
you can
probably
handle
really confused.
Yeah,
Wait,
well,
what?
if you haven't seen Oblivion, hey, it turns out it's an alien invasion, and Jack Harper is the point person in it. But I think people have seen Oblivion at this point. It's a pretty popular movie. But no, I think it fits nicely into the mold of Hellboy in the sense of somebody whose life has been taken from them and purposed out for destruction, and they fight back against that. And I think that's the whole focus of that particular story, reclaiming your purpose.
I like Oblivion. I'm a fan.
This reminds me of the time in high school where we got assigned an essay in American history class, and I had no idea what the essay was about, but I always kind of wanted to test the rubric system because like only one part of the rubric was actually about the content of the essay. So I just wrote an essay on what I wanted to write about.
Good move.
I feel like that's what you're doing. And guess what? I got a 0, which I was like, what does this rubric mean then?
It's interesting. I had a similar story in college. I was taking a Shakespeare histories class, and I did not read the assigned reading that we had a pop quiz on. And it wasn't really a pop quiz. It was like, now we're going to write an essay and you're going to turn that in. And so I hadn't done the assigned reading, so I wrote about a dragon in a cave. And I turned that in. I also got a 0 or an F, or whatever the equivalent of that was.
I think if there is a rubric, then, and I wrote a great essay.
Right.
I'm sure, because I'm an amazing writer.
Right.
Aftermoviediner.com.
Yes, that's accurate.
Yeah, like, I feel like I should have gotten those points.
No, I think
I'm
so too.
sure that American history teacher is dead now. He made me the poet laureate of the class, though.
Oh, there you go. Win.
I felt a little bit dared, though. I mean, you did say we're going to liberally interpret this.
Sure.
And I said maybe I'll lean into it. And then you said go right now.
Yeah, okay.
So I had to decide on the spot.
All right. Well,
But I now realize why his like go-to list has like 30 movies on it, because it turns out it can just be about any movie.
Hey, yeah,
that
I
he
made
can think of.
that. So full disclosure, my preparation for this particular episode was I picked a list of 30 titles. No
At
particular
random.
order, at random. And I'm gonna work 5 of them into this particular episode.
this is why we need Darren and Brian on the show to maintain the order. Lisa,
Yes.
what is your number 5 Hellboy, Hellgirl, or Tom Cruise related movie?
I decided to interpret this week's theme as boys or girls from hell. Like demons and stuff. So my number 5 is Sweet, played by the multi-Tony award-winning actor, original cast of The Wiz, Hinton Battle in Buffy the Vampire Slayer's Once More with Feeling. Mostly I'm talking about this because I want to brag about my brand spanking new, came in the mail just recently, Mondo vinyl of Once More with Feeling. The art is by Paul Mann, and it's gorgeous. And there's brand new, it's right over there. That's why I'm looking over there. It's got the purple background. Buffy Summers is looking at us. And it's got new liner notes by Joss Whedon. And I was able to get on that Mondo site just in time. So I have the blue and black vinyl with the red spatter.
Ooh.
And all of the lame pre-order people just got like blue vinyl, not as cool.
Bunch of jokers, amateurs.
But this is one of my all-time favorite episodes of television ever, largely because it's a musical, but not just because it's a musical. It's episode 7 of season 6, and this season starts with Willow bringing Buffy back from the dead, and since she's been back from the dead, she's been moodier than normal. She seems to just be like going through the motions. And then a demon crawls itself out of the hellmouth and compels everyone to tell their deepest, darkest secrets in song and dance. And the music is all by Joss Whedon. It's his first attempt at ever composing, including doing like the orchestration and stuff.
Oh, he did all the music for that episode?
Yes, he
Oh, I
did.
didn't
And
realize
it
that.
is so good. Like, even as a musical nerd, I'm like, so good. All of the actors did their own vocals. And they're not like amazing vocals or anything, but I find them kind of sweet and kind of like an Umbrellas of Cherbourg kind of way, where it's just like, it's so emotive, and I know these characters so well. And the episode, so I'm going to spoil this episode of Buffy. In fact, in all of mine, I'm going to be spoiling stuff.
Okay.
By the way.
Oh, also, I'm going to spoil things.
Yeah, we're going to talk
We've
about what happens in
established
these movies. But one of the greatest reveals in television history in song, Buffy reveals that when they had pulled her back from death, she had actually been pulled from heaven. And so when she came back, everything looked shitty because it was in comparison to heaven, which I thought was a really interesting direction for this teen zombie comedy drama TV show to go. Just really good.
Oh, excellent pick, Lisa.
Thank
Not
you.
at all
So
surprising.
so that it is sweet. Yeah, this is not.
Do you regularly rewatch the Buffy series?
I do.
Not as much as Gilmore Girls, but probably every other year.
I would do it. Yeah, I did it every year until, and I was doing it with the DVDs until they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Netflix. And then I was doing it on Netflix, and I would go all the way through Buffy and all the way through Angel, but then they pulled Buffy from Netflix, and now I don't have the energy to get the discs out.
You know, I've never seen that show.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's really good for the first 2.5
All
seasons.
of it is good. He has like a really strong anti-Eliza Dushku bias,
Oh,
but I like
Eliza Dushku.
I like Eliza Dushku. I like the idea of Faith as a character.
I
You
don't
know who she
dislike
is.
Dushku as a person or an actor. I just dislike Faith as a character.
But you're supposed to. She's supposed to be unlikable.
Yeah, but she's so unlikable I stopped watching.
Lame.
All right, so that's your number 5.
Yep.
My number 5, and my Fistful is also going to be focusing on characters from Hell. They're all going to be boys or men, or boys to men. And they're going to be coming from various mediums, not all cinematic.
I see.
So for number 5, I'm going with Damien Hellstrom, a.k.a. Marvel's Son of Satan, as he first appeared in Ghost Rider number 1. Now, Damien Hellstrom and his sister, Satana, their parents were this lovely lady from Massachusetts named Victoria and Lucifer. And Satana, she really leaned into daddy's teachings, and Damien leaned into mom's teachings and embraced humanity where his sister embraced her demonhood. So he's trying to, he's basically Spock if it wasn't half human, half Vulcan. It was half human, half Satan. And it's a struggle for him. This era of Marvel Comics, the 1970s, was certainly responding to the popularity of films like The Omen and The Exorcist. And Stan Lee wanted in on that diabolical horror game. And characters like Ghost Rider came into popularity, Brother Voodoo, Son of Satan. And he's a really silly character. He loves to go shirtless. On his chest is a giant pentagram burned into his flesh. I'm waiting for the MCU to embrace his character for their next phase. Probably not phase 4, probably not phase 5, but like phase 66 or phase 666. That's got to happen one day, right? And
The
Son of
MCU goes
Satan.
to hell.
Yeah, it's going to happen. The
I'd watch
Avengers
it.
in Hell? Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Why not?
We've seen him at Comic-Con.
Son of Satan, a guy dressed as Son of Satan.
Yeah,
You're
cosplay.
like, that dude, deep cuts. He likes them. And so do I. So,
They can go to hell and rescue Iron Man from the clutches of hell.
oh, yeah. I would think probably they're going to rescue Steve Rogers because he's definitely going down. And because of that sin that of hiding the truth from Tony Stark, he goes to hell rather than heaven, obviously.
That's harsh.
Yeah, but true.
All American hero.
Yeah, burning in hell forever with John Wayne. All right, that's my number 5. Billy, Your number 4, we're going to want to hear it in 3, 2, 1. You're 4.
All right. So my number 4 is Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I'm reading it this time because I fucked it up last time.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
That's
Freddy's
called
Revenge.
Freddy's Revenge, yes.
Yeah. I like it because what I couldn't remember the name. Jesse Walsh is the main character. Mark Patton. I think Jesse Walsh, the main character in that. Because Freddy's Revenge, instead of targeting a whole group of people through their dreams, he targets this one particular person and tries to make him his living vessel on Earth. And I think that also kind of fits into this sort of Hellboy theme, where you have people working against your interests and the things that you want to accomplish. I mean, Jesse spends most of his movie just trying to figure his own shit out, and then Freddy comes in there and starts messing him up. I don't know. Do you guys like Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
I love Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
This was one that I did not enjoy so much as a teenager when I discovered the series.
Right.
But later in life, I've grown to really appreciate it. But it is very different from every other entry in the franchise.
It's hugely different from 1 and from 3, 4, and 5. And I think, because I didn't watch these when I was a kid. I came to them much later in life. I think I watched them the first time maybe like 5 years ago.
What about the other like slashers, like Texas Chainsaw, Friday, Halloween?
I missed most of the 80s slashers when I was growing up. And that's, well, I don't know. I mean, that's certainly not how I'm raising my kid.
That's right. Tune in to Bill and Claire's Excellent Adventures every week, where Billy is traumatizing his child for your entertainment.
For your entertainment. So subscribe. Come on. No, but I think I'm a big fan of 2 when it comes to the way that they handle identity and like Jesse's struggle to figure himself out. I mean, there's a lot there. And I think there's a lot under the surface where they're working through a lot of issues with sexuality and things like that. And I like the way that they introduce Freddy into that as a catalyst for the things that Jesse is more scared of happening to him. And I think it works great as a metaphor, and I think it actually works really great as an entertaining movie. I didn't watch them through the lens of kind of nostalgia of looking back to movies that I loved as a kid, and I got to say, man, every single one of the Freddy movies I'm a huge fan of, but I think 2 might be my favorite.
Even the one with Roseanne and Tom Arnold?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Freddy's Dead?
What? Is that a thing?
It's a great one. He's playing with power now, Billy. I love that movie. That was me testing you and our friendship.
Oh,
it's a thing and it's great. Lisa Gullickson, wife dork, you're number 4. Let's hear it. Is it a male? Is it a female? What's happening?
That's the thing about demons. They're always looking for a vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And though I think this one is technically a boy demon, or at least a sexist demon. And this demon is Payman.
Oh, yeah.
From Hereditary.
Oh, good pick.
He goes both ways.
Yeah. He's the demon that plagued poor Tony Collette's family. And he really gets around. He spends some time in Tony. Who wouldn't?
What?
When she's on the bed.
That's right.
And then he bangs poor Peter's head on the desk.
Yep.
And then it turns out he's been rattling around in Charlie the whole time. And I just spoiled Hereditary. And his issue is that he is yearning for a male host. But they haven't had any male children in that bloodline, so he's just been knocking around in inferior female hosts. So
oh, man.
That is the point of the movie. I just reviewed it on Wikipedia. So
all right.
So yeah, Payman.
Number 4.
He's a nasty dude.
I love that movie.
That's one of my favorite endings of a movie ever. I have another movie on my list that has an fabulous ending.
I just really appreciated the back-to-back screenings of that film I did in 2 separate theaters.
Whoa.
Remember because
Did you really?
Yeah.
I saw it at the Ashburn Theater on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then Friday morning,
He's
Lisa and I
Lisa,
got
you
up,
have to see this movie. And I'm like, it looks too scary.
and we went and watched it at the Alamo Woodbridge Theater. And both audiences had 2 very different reactions to it.
And apparently there was a huge brightness contrast on the 2.
Yeah, the Woodbridge it was a much brighter screen. So I feel like one particular scare did not work quite as well in that screening.
I still found that movie pretty flippin' scary and great. And I was relieved when it got scary because it just started out as way too sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
Super sad.
So my number 4 on my Fistful of Hellboys is Kaz, as played by Scott Valentine in the 1987 romantic comedy horror film My Demon Lover. Have either of you seen this movie?
No.
It is a film that it took a long time to watch because Mom would not just rent this from the video library the way I wanted her to. But I found the cover as a kid incredibly compelling, the VHS box art. You can see Scott Valentine on the cover. He's embraced in the arms with his girlfriend, and she's looking lovingly up at him. He's looking a little maniacal, and his hands are demonic wrapped around her, and she's unaware that the hands are demonic. And the plot of My Demon Lover is that Kaz, who is a homeless street musician, he becomes a demon whenever he's sexually aroused.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, what?
He becomes a demon whenever he's sexually aroused.
Billy, he becomes a demon every time he's sexually aroused.
So
Like werewolves out?
Yeah.
But so like demon horns and skin and shit come out of him?
Does he have horns? At some point he does have horns.
I mean, he's got horns.
Yeah, like he's got horns. I have not watched this film in a long time, and the weird thing is when we were thinking about Hellboys, this was the first Hellboy that popped into my brain. And I'm telling you, like right after we finish recording this episode, I'm going to have to watch this tonight.
Oh, wow.
It better be available to stream
I live here.
somewhere. You do live here, Lisa, but you have no choice when the TV comes into play, right? Because I'm a man.
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm trying
was
to
he
be
just
funny.
possessed by a demon?
Yikes.
I've
I've gotta just go back to my phone.
Like I'm trying to keep my energy up, and I just can't. And so I just start saying sexist things. Billy, you're number 3 on your Fistful of Hellboys. I'm going to want to hear it in 6, 5.
That's good.
4,
Yep.
5,
3,
6,
2,
7, on 10,
1.
8,
Go.
9, 10.
Go.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Harry Potter for my number 3.
Wouldn't the other guy be the Hellboy? The he who shall not be named?
No, I don't think so.
This is back to your whole weird system. Explain it again.
Yeah. So the creation of Hellboy is for the purpose of being the emissary on Earth to cause all destruction, right? That's his whole function. And he fights against that. That's his whole purpose for being, is to be the great destroyer, basically, right? Well, Harry Potter is linked to what is effectively the devil as far as all of the magical people of that particular world are concerned. Grindelwald. Yeah, that's a Harry Potter name. Yeah. Have you been watching those movies, by the way?
No.
Any of those?
I barely remember the Harry Potter films. Voldemort's who you're talking about, right?
Voldemort is who I'm talking about.
But
Yeah.
wasn't like Grindelwald like his teacher or something?
I think
I don't think so.
Grindelwald
No.
is the cat from Smurfs.
Yeah, I think Lisa's right.
No, that's Gargamel. Come on.
Gargamel.
Gargamel. All right, okay.
No, so I see again. I personally am fascinated by the characters who this idea of being burdened with somebody else's purpose is something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. It's something that I connect with in stories. And I think maybe that's the reason for my interpretation of the Hellboy rules in and of itself, is because that's what I find interesting about that particular character. And so Harry Potter having no knowledge of anything that's going on around him and trying to learn this world, and he's brought into it thinking that this is a magical, wonderful world. Like, yeah, I get to be a wizard. It's all exciting. And then you find out that, effectively, you are spiritually, soulfully linked to Satan as far as that world is concerned. And this either merits you your ultimate destruction or the destruction of all of your friends, or you have to fight Satan in a battle. And all you wanted was to just go to school and have some friends and have some people like you for who you are. And I think this idea of, existing in a larger world where things are going on around you that you don't totally understand, but really do dictate the ebb and flow of your life and the directions that it goes are interesting to me. In a way that things like Destiny are not particularly interesting to me. I don't really care about Destiny.
Yeah, I don't like Chosen One stories either.
Yeah, but I like the idea of being being intrinsically linked to something that you can't escape, that's not the same thing as destiny, as this shall be so, because, you know, the Harry Potter story or any of these stories really could go any direction. It depends on the choices that he makes. So there is no destiny for him, but his choices become limited based on the things that other people are doing around him. And that really is what he has to figure out through the course of the entire series.
What
Which I quite
bothers
like.
me about Harry Potter is that he always generally makes the really, really good choice. And his team always wins Quidditch. And, like, I just really resent that much success in one child.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got some sacrifice burdened on there as well. I mean, there's a lot of friends and family die.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I mean, he's cool because he gets to be famous. And
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to be a rock star, basically, in the wizard world, I guess things work out pretty okay for you anyways, right?
yeah.
Do you think that he's a happy person after the death of Voldemort?
Yeah, I think he's super stoked.
Yeah?
Based on the ending of the Deathly Hallows Part 2 when we see him, he looks pretty old.
He gets all of the witch pussy ones. I don't know why I went there.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's a rock star.
Lisa,
He has his
I
pick of
also
the
did not
ladies.
have a joke. I was trying to find a
Any
joke,
Weasley he
but
wants.
you didn't. So let's just stop and move on.
Yeah?
We should probably delete all that. What is your number 3?
Yes. My number 3 is Mater Suspiriorum in Suspiria.
Yeah.
Here I go. I'm going to spoil Suspiria 2018 and 1977 because that's probably going to come up. So in both versions, there's Susie Banyan. She arrives at the dance school. She's picked out by the dance instructor / coven of witches to be the new host bod for Mother Marcos. Well, in the original, Susie foils the coven and escapes. But in the 2018 version, Susie turns out to be the manifestation of one of the 3 mothers, Mater Suspiriorum, and she summons death and she pops a bunch of heads, and it's great.
So good.
Such an amazing film. The most goriest, bloodiest, amazing dance sequence like ever.
A ballet of murder.
I love it.
Done to some rock and Tom York jams.
They're just jump roping with intestines, and it's beautiful. Boils upon boils.
All right.
Mother Marcos.
That's your
And
number
faces
3.
and places. And little hands, little baby hands.
Oh, God.
She's so gross.
Little baby hands.
Yeah, she's got a little baby hand.
I know, I remember. It was super gross.
Yeah.
But she seemed pretty, you know, accepting of her,
Of her death?
of her physical self.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Beauty comes in all shapes and sizes.
Okay. My number 3 in my fistful of Hellboys. He's a top dog. He's a top dog in hell. He is the robot devil as seen in
That's good.
Futurama.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Voiced by Homer Simpson in his regular episodes, but in A Tale of Two Santas, he's voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
One of my faves.
And I'm a big Maurice LaMarche fan. Yeah, so he's the leader of Robot Hell, which is basically a hell that is hidden beneath the Inferno ride at an amusement park. I think it's called Ted's Funland or Reckless Ted's Funland. That's right. I love Robot Devil. Robot Devil is a blast. He sits on my shelf in my office. He stares down at me every day as I'm writing. He's my champion. He encourages me with his miserable attitude. And yeah, Futurama obviously has its fans. I feel like since it's left the air, it's only grown as far as its popularity and Twitter popularity. I'm always happy to see people celebrating Futurama. And I think that Robot Devil as a concept is one of the highlights. If I was putting together my top 10 favorite Futurama moments, the emergence of Robot Devil in that series would be right there at the top.
It was the robot that stabs people.
Yeah, Stabby.
Is that literally his name? It's
can't
like
remember.
Stabby
I
or something,
can't
right?
remember.
But he's always stabbing people, doing crime and stuff.
Yeah.
That's my favorite robot.
That's a
in
good
Futurama.
robot.
I like
Yeah,
that
he's no Robot Devil, though.
No, the Robot Devil's a good pick.
All right, especially when we're talking Hellboy.
I like the little animal that pooped black holes.
Yeah, no, that's gross, disgusting. I don't do fecal humor on this show, Lisa. Billy, I want to hear your number 2 on this podcast in 3, 2, 1, go.
I had a pick. It's really hard not to switch it to Dogma and the Shit Demon right now. I want
do
to.
fecal humor. No fecal humor.
That's a really great choice.
Yeah. No. So my pick
Golgotha? Is that what that
Yeah, Golgotha.
Yeah, Golgotha.
Yeah. No, my pick is...
that was the hill where Christ was crucified?
Yeah.
No.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, Golgotha.
Golgotha?
I don't know.
It's definitely a hill that Jesus was on. I don't know how much. Is that where he prayed?
Well,
I
in
think he prayed
Dogma, the idea was that all the crap that came out of the people who were crucified.
I'm going to trust that Kevin Smith has done more research than I have.
Yeah, I think. And then that formed the
I'm
demon.
going to Google.
I mean, I took Dogma to be a very literal interpretation of how Catholicism works.
Certainly the closest I've ever come to it.
So I'm a fucking demon.
Billy, I'm going to again request your number 2.
Right.
Your number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Your number 2
is a movie called Ava's Possessions. Have either of you guys seen this? No. So the concept of the movie is there is a world where demonic possession happens, and it's a regular occurrence, and society has evolved ways to combat that look a lot like AA meetings. And so basically, a young woman gets possessed by a demon. She loses about a month of her life. And then she, for the crimes that she committed whilst possessed, is sentenced to rehabilitation at a church where they talk about their possessions and they work through their issues around those possessions so that they can become upstanding members of society after the trauma that they have experienced. But I like the idea for the show because it allows that society sees that these people are clearly not themselves while they're doing these atrocious things, but they still hold them personally accountable and put them through the justice system to fix the wrongs that they may have done while possessed. I think it's an interesting way to look at demonic possession. The movie is structured almost like a noir, like a neo-noir film, in its approach to her sort of unraveling the mystery of her time while she was possessed. And I think it's a very engaging movie, but it's one of those movies where, like, I never heard anybody talk about it. I just bumped into it on a streaming title or flipping through something on iTunes.
It sounds like an indie dork hit.
It absolutely is. But I don't really want to spoil any of this movie because I think it's pretty well off the beaten path in that most people will not have seen it. But it's definitely worth a look if that sounds like it's up your alley.
I will rent it.
That's good.
Lisa.
Golgotha is where Christ was crucified. Kevin Smith was right. I just got confused because it's also called Calvary. And so I got confused. But
do you know, sometimes I have a hard time telling the difference between Calvary, Calgary, and Cavalry.
Yeah.
Those words
Calgary's in Canada.
Right. Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Lisa,
what about
can
the
you look
Cavalry?
that up?
Calgary is Canada. Cavalry is who you call. Calvary is Golgotha, which is confusing.
Right. See, it's a weird overlap in my brain of where things are stored.
Thank you, Lisa, for putting us on track. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is Auntie in Hausu.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Thank you. If you haven't seen this amazing, weird Japanese horror comedy,
super weird.
Yeah. 6 friends go to visit one of the girls' aunts, and they start mysteriously disappearing and reappearing in parts all over the house. And then, like, the inanimate objects are coming to life, and pianos are eating people, and cats are vomiting blood. Paintings of cats. So it's like kind of gross. I mean, I still covered my eyes, but I didn't cry. Yeah, but it turns out, I'm going to spoil it now that I've intrigued you, that what is possessing the house is the spirit of Gorgeous's auntie who lost her fiance in the war and she lures young women to her house so that she can eat them.
My favorite part of that movie is when that piano eats that person while they're gleefully playing the piano.
That's my favorite part. I also like the ending as the house is like filling with blood and like the girl in the dress, the wedding dress.
I watched it late at night once, and I think I might have fallen asleep towards the end of it.
I got to see it on the big screen.
Oh, yeah?
At I think it was one of the early
Film clubs.
Oh, damn.
At Ashburn, and it was super fun. I really enjoyed it.
What did the audience make of that?
I think it was a mixed bag.
Well, it was a mixed bag because Brad didn't like it. So if you look at this sample, this very biased sample of two
is a fine
people.
film, Lisa. I would not classify my
I liked it
feelings
more
for
than he
Hausu
did.
as dislike.
I
but
know how to
you
have a good
loved
time.
It,
I did.
and I liked it. 3 stars. That's a positive review. That's a thumbs up from the Siskel and Ebert crowd.
They pull up a severed head from the well and it bites someone on the butt. That is high comedy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Like only the Japanese can deliver.
All right.
I feel like I'm not remembering the details correctly.
So, my number 2, I've been having a real 90s kick watching Cartoonist Kayfabe on YouTube, hosted by Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg, the famous comic book artists. And they've been going through Wizard Magazine issue by issue.
Like
page
literally,
by
like
page.
the magazine is like laid out, and they've got
and
their manicures, and they flip the pages.
And they discuss the
They
contents
point
within.
to things.
And because it's Wizard Magazine in the 90s, there's a lot of talk around Image Comics, right?
Yep.
And they are big Image fanboys, and they have given me permission to admit my Image fandom, and I have started rereading issues of Todd McFarlane's Spawn.
Oh, yeah?
And that is my selection for number 2, Hellboy.
That's a good pick.
Al Simmons, the mercenary who was killed in battle, went to hell, made a deal with the devil, a la Ghost Rider, and came back looking like hamburger meat with a costume that was very much like the 90s Venom costume. And it's extreme. It's what? How would I would describe it as? It's a very teenage boy extreme comic. You know, it's all about boobs and horror and blood and evil, and you can't just be a goody two shoe hero. You got to kill the bad guy, and you got to
enjoy killing the bad guy.
You got to enjoy killing the bad guy, and if you learn this dude's a pedophile, you got to jam him up with popsicle sticks, impale him every which way but Sunday. Is that a phrase? Anyway.
Wait, is the popsicle sticks things real?
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's that pedophile who drives around in the ice cream truck picking up kids
that's fucked up.
And killing them after having sex with them, because that's what evil pedophiles do. And when Spawn goes up against Billy Kincaid, he takes all the popsicles in the truck and he just impales them.
Why is the ice cream popsicle man pedophile got to be Billy? That's
Billy Kincaid.
not a lot of good Billies in fiction.
In film, ooh boy, that's a challenge. I think you're right. All bad Billies.
You know, my wife and I's first date movie was Scream, and the villain of that movie,
Billy.
Billy. Yeah, it's very sad.
Worked out okay for you.
I mean, for me, sure.
You haven't murdered
You'd have to
anybody yet
get
or
her.
been discovered.
As far as anybody knows.
Well, Brads in film are usually wife beaters and or the bully. So
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel you. Or they're Brad Pitt, which is great. So, haha. Billy, you're number 1 on your list of Fistful of Hellboys or whatever the hell you're doing over there.
All right. Well, so my number 1, I'm not gonna futz around with. My number 1 is Sam Winchester for Supernatural.
Nice.
That's got to be the go-to pick for me.
I mean, okay, I approve of this.
I genuinely, with no exaggeration, think that the first 5 seasons of that series is among the absolute best in television entertainment. I think it's fantastic.
The Leviathan series takes it down.
It does enormously. I do not care for that season, but no, man, Supernatural is a series that, like, even the downer seasons, I can still go through and rewatch and get some enjoyment out of. I'm a big fan of those characters. I like what they do. I'm sad that the show is ending, but I mean, as far as people struggling with effectively being burdened with being the living vessel on Earth of Satan. Man, I think I think Supernatural does it every which way that they can. I'm a big fan.
I feel like you're pandering to our listener, Shara Valentine.
Well, if she loves Supernatural, I'm not pandering. It means that both of us have excellent taste, which I know to be true. So
It's a good pick. It's a good pick. I didn't even think about it.
It is a wonderful pick.
I would probably put it on my list as well.
Yeah.
Supernatural's great.
it is. It's amazing.
Lisa.
Yes.
Your number one Hellboy, Hell Girl.
My number one, I feel like for me, is a kind of obvious pick, but it cannot not be on this list, which I guess is how lists work. Is my number one. Is Swan, played by Paul Williams in The Phantom of the Paradise.
pick.
Oh, that's a good pick. Yeah.
Great pick.
My all-time favorite adaptation of Faust / Picture of Dorian Gray / The Phantom of the Opera. It's amazing.
It's a mashup.
The music, also by Paul Williams, is amazing. It's one of my all-time favorite films. Bottomlessly watchable.
Yes.
It's one of those movies where I'm just like, ugh, why am I not Jessica Harper? How do I get up every morning and not be Jessica Harper?
You're pretty good, though.
I'm okay.
You're not Jessica Harper, but you're still pretty good.
I feel like I'm Jessica Harper adjacent.
Yeah.
I
mean,
saw her once.
You're literally not Jessica Harper.
I'm
but
literally
you
not.
Literally have been adjacent to her.
Yeah, I have. Well, Brad was adjacent to her, asking her questions and grilling her about Klemperer. And she's like, I'm not
Wait,
gonna
what?
give it up.
I
yeah.
interviewed her for Suspiria at Fantastic.
Oh,
And it was
okay.
before it had been officially announced that Tilda Swinton played Klemperer. And so the announcement had come out, but I guess nobody told Jessica Harper, and she decided to toe the line and be like, that actor was an amazing actor. And Brad is like, really?
So, hold on.
Oh, really?
First off, I never asked her about that whole situation.
She brought it up.
Volunteered. Like, we were talking about the climax of the movie, and she volunteered and by saying, have you ever met Lutz Ebersdorf, the fictional actor who played Klemperer? When I knew, we all knew, because we'd seen the trailer, and clearly that dude is not a real dude, but Tilda Swinton in makeup. But she wanted
Well,
to
she
tell
was
me
having
what
She dared you to acknowledge the lie.
Yes.
She was doing a great time doing some little improv, giving Brad an opportunity to yes and.
And it was a ton of fun. And I did yes and Lisa. I did not call her out on it.
Yeah, but
We just
later
awkwardly-
he cast aspersions. You can listen to it when we talk about some of our greatest marital fights on the Comic Book Couples Counseling podcast.
It's true. It
He
did
called
turn
her
into a fight.
rude twice.
Uh-oh.
You know, I just don't think this is fair to spring on me on a fistful. But yeah, go listen to CBCC.
I'm going to
Learn
just
why
work on picking my next pick right now. I still got another one,
I'm
don't
not,
I?
I'm not a
No,
bad
you
person.
don't. This was my number
No.
one, right?
Oh,
No, this is
right.
my
You're
number
done.
two.
You're done
No,
with your
nope.
list, Billy.
Swan is my number one. I got distracted by Suspiria.
Yeah, you're number one. is
So I'm
Swan.
done. So you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
And
Guys.
look, we're back to Brad.
Oh my God. Darren, if you're listening to this and editing this, I am so sorry. I try to keep it on track. You heard our Week in Dork Shazam cast, Darren. You know that I was on point with that episode.
Brian makes a really great guest host. Have you listened to the ones where Brian is hosting?
Brian's an excellent guest host.
Brian's way better than me. I agree.
Aw.
My number one is John Travolta as nameless cult member in The Devil's Reign. One of my favorite Satan cult films of all time. One of the silliest, with a massive, crazy cast, including Tom Skerritt, William Shatner, John Travolta. He doesn't say a single word in it, but he does lose his eyes and he does turn to goo at the end of the film when the devil's reign is unleashed upon all of us and everyone turns into Jell-O pudding. I could not think of a good number one. I realized that my number one was actually Spawn, but I jumped the gun on it. And now I'm talking about The Devil's Reign, which was actually my number 4, but I forgot about it when I was doing the list. It's hard to host and talk and be hilarious like I am being right now.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
I wonder what Jessica Harper would think right now.
She would not be happy. But The Devil's Reign is a super silly B movie that takes itself way too seriously, but it's also gorgeous, really well shot. It's an astonishing looking movie with just the dumbest of plots in which Ernest Borgnine runs a cult back in the Pilgrim Hat days. And, what's his name? Corvus, I want to say. And his descendants have been cursed generation upon generation because of this book and blah, 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 blah. You should watch The Devil's Reign. John Travolta turns to goo. He's a wonderful Hellboy. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I want to see The Devil's Reign now. I haven't actually seen that movie.
You should watch it. It's on Blu-ray. Who put it out? Synapse Films, I want to say. I could be wrong. It could be Severin. I don't know. Billy, you're on the internet.
I am.
You're saying things.
I am.
You're at WB Das on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about before you say goodbye to everyone?
How about everybody's favorite podcast, father-daughter podcast?
Yeah. So if you guys haven't heard, I'm doing a podcast adventure with my daughter, Claire. She's 9 years old. She came to me.
His favorite daughter.
Ooh. I mean, today was a day, so the favorites, they change. But no, she came and said.
That was polite of you, Lisa. We don't have children.
As a person with siblings, I just know they're favorites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to the bottom of it.
That's just true. Right.
Podcast.
I'm Team Harper.
Podcast.
Harper is team everybody too, though. She's the sweet one.
Do you have a podcast, Billy?
I do have a podcast.
Where again can we find it?
Right. So you can find Bill and Claire's Excellent Adventures. You can find that on iTunes if you just search for the title. You can find us on Twitter at BACEA Podcast. And then basically we're just going through it, and I'm trying to give Claire a foundation of movies to have some context for the things that she's going to see. It's not about pushing my favorites on her, but it's just about her getting a chance to see more movies that she might not otherwise see on her own.
But it's a little bit about pushing your favorites on her.
I also have a child. Then push your ideals and cinematic tastes on the next generation.
Sure. I do worry about that a lot, though. And that's been a major part of how I'm trying to figure out how to do the lineup for this podcast, because it's tricky. I don't want to program her to just be like the things that I like, because the most likely outcome of that is that she'll just hate the fucking things that I like, because all I did was lean on her all day. So you got to like this. This is important. So I have not once introduced a movie to her and said, I'm a big fan of this one. We're going to watch it. Because I think that'll either turn her off or not. I want her to just kind of appreciate them for where they fit kind of in cinema in general.
Lisa Gullickson,
yes.
Wife Dork, you can be found on Twitter and Instagram at Sidewalk Siren. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay. I'm Brad Gullickson. You can find me on all social medias at MouthDork. Billy and I, right now, as you're listening to this, are in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
True facts.
Partaking in the Chattanooga Film Festival.
Very exciting time.
And hopefully we've acquired all kinds of guests for the ItMod Chatcast.
Got some
and
exciting
if you
names.
are not already subscribed to the ItMod Chatcast, you should head on over to iTunes, Podbean, all those places. Subscribe, ItMod Chatcast. Last week we had Emilio Estevez on talking about The Public. And this past Wednesday, this week, we had Al White, the director of Starfish. And that was a great in-depth conversation. And I highly encourage you listen to that one.
And go find the movie. I don't know if it's when's the theatrical release for it? Do you have any idea?
Sometime in April.
Yeah,
We're in April right now.
Yeah,
So
I think it's
soon
next
already?
weekend.
Okay.
But if it's available, go find it. It's a good look. But watch it with somebody that you can hug when you're done. Yeah.
Sadness. Until next time, folks, this has been a Fistful hosted by Brad. Hopefully the last one. Probably after Darren edits this. Take care. Bye.
Take care.